Good morning, everybody. This is Steve from the Worley Bugger. Today is Thursday, February 22nd, 2024. Here below the Thorpe boat launch. Couple companions here. There's a bunch of eagles in the trees here. Couple down on the river. They usually come into the valley this time of year in winter and wait for the calving season to start, and then move into the fields as the calves start dropping. So as you can see, the river's in great shape today. It continues to drop. We have had a little bit of moisture in the amount of rainfall. You can see down here below on the island below the eagles there's quite a bit of snow still right there. It's not getting a lot of sunshine on that portion of the river, but there's not a whole lot of snow left in the Ellensburg Valley. The Clay Elm area of the river's been getting heavier, denser snowfall and rainfall both than what we have. They got 6 or 7 inches the other day. But again, it's warmed up. It's been up in the upper 40s, even 50, so that doesn't stay around. Gets melts, goes into the aquifers, or drains off into the river. But the river's continuing to drop. There is a projection there that we're going to get some more moisture and that it's going to increase in flow. But when I looked at it yesterday, it wasn't substantial. Now that that could change. So you really, like, if you have plans to fish the river, anytime, but spring especially, you have to really pay attention to the graphs. And you can go to our web page there, and we have all the gauging stations. It's all live data, and it's all projected over about a week's time, so you can look and keep an eye on it and make sure that that the river flows are going to be in check and everything's going to be okay, instead of going through all the time and expense and then coming to the river and finding out that it's unfishable, high, muddy. Now, will that happen this year? It's still a little early, I think, to predict that. I think we're going to have really good river flow through through March. April is always kind of a crapshoot because it can warm up suddenly here in April. I mean, it's not uncommon around Easter to see 80-degree days, so April's always kind of touch and go, and May too. So a lot of that really high elevation snow starts coming down in May. But I think for squallow fishing, I think we're going to be sitting pretty good as far as March goes. The water is still cold, and I'll take the water temperature here in just a minute, and we'll see where we're at. It's been ranging, in the mid to kind of upper 30s. In the lower Yakima River Canyon south of Ellensburg, it tends to be a little warmer down there. The river gets quite a bit wider in that section, and this time of year with limited flow, it's going to warm up, especially as it gets down in the lower canyon. As it gets closer to Yakima is typically, it usually runs about 3 to 5 degrees warmer there than what it does here in Ellensburg. And then when you start talking about the upper river too, like around Clay Ellum, I mean, you know, there's a huge elevations difference between here and there. I mean, over 1,000 feet. So, you know, things are gonna, you know, usually not warm up as quickly there as what they are here. So just keep that in mind, but always good. So yeah, you can jump on the Worley Bugger website and you can bookmark that and keep an eye on those graphs. You can always call the fly shop too. We'll give you a heads up and tell you what's going on. But there's been really no report of any squalla action. There's been, you know, people reporting lots of little winter stones and midges. Some people talking about blue wing olives, but I have to be a little skeptical about that just because of water temperatures. So just keep in mind, everything is water temperature related. The bugs hatching, the fish getting active, you know, so the lower the water temperatures, the less active fish are going to be. They're going to be in low metabolism mode. So as the water temperature comes up, and sometimes, some days, all it has to do is come up a couple of degrees. For them to turn on and start feeding. And that's the same with bugs too. Sometimes all it takes is just a couple of degrees, you know, in water temperature, and bugs start hatching. So it's all really relative around that, and those are good. Another good thing to watch. I've been teaching you about that the last couple of weeks, so it's good to have a thermometer, good accurate one, you know, and keep an eye on it, and you'll learn when, you know, you'll learn where fish are, and you'll also learn when bugs begin to hatch at what temperatures. So let's take a little reading here. I'm at the boat launch now. We have set up good news about access committee, so people that have signed up, we got quite a few, almost 20 people signed up, and we're going to have our first river access meeting next Tuesday at 1 o'clock. And for those of you that put your name on the list to volunteer, you'll be receiving an email from Commissioner Wright. If you haven't, you might contact me, and I can make sure that you get that. So here we are right here at the boat launch, 35.2. So still a little chilly. We just had a lot of these overcast days, not a lot of sunshine. It is projected to burn off and be in the upper 50s today, so, and then the next couple of days be in the 50s, so that of course will increase over the afternoon. It'll come up a couple of degrees, but target the right water. Of course, you know, the last couple of weeks we've been talking about squallas and migration. There's not a whole lot of rocks here to kick over, but as we progress, you know, further into the month and get closer to March, there's going to be more and more stoneflies that are going to be amassing, you know, along the banks of the river. So stonefly nymph's that's going to be a key fly pattern for you to use. I'll kick over a few rocks here and see if we can't turn up. There's a sculpin. One of trout's favorite little food forms. There's a squalla moving around in there. So a crane fly larva. So see, you learn a lot about a river and what its food mass is. So there you go. There's a crane fly larva, a squalla, and a sculpin. Couple of crane flies actually. There's another one. It's a good thing. Spend a little bit of time. You don't have to spend a whole lot of time, you know, kicking rocks over, but it'll really tell you a lot about fly patterns and about your river. So if you have any questions, give us a call. We're getting closer and closer to that March 1st day too for the lake opener. And I have had some reports about Rocky Ford that I'll relay to you. My good friend Aaron Frank over in Moses Lake. He's been fishing there, and he's reported the fishing's been pretty good too. There's blue wings, midges hatching there. And he's been using some streamers, getting some big trout there. So it's always kind of a fun place to venture to this time of year, especially, you know, when the river is not fishing really well. Not that it's not. It's, you know, people are fishing and they're catching a few. So, but Rocky Ford is kind of a place, you know, it's probably better fish this time of year in early spring, you know, why it still has good water and the weeds are at least manageable. So if you're thinking about going there, blue wing olive patterns, midges, and streamers have been pretty effective. So that's all I got to report today. So everybody have a great weekend. I'm heading into the fly shop, and hopefully we'll see you on the river.